Alright guys, I'm back. This is the second part. Um, Splitting this up in intervals because it's a lot of pages. Trying to just pass by the reruns, the repeats of what was on, other pages. Um, and I'm just trying to go over the highlighted stuff, like the most important keywords, the different definitions of the forms of gang stalking, different scenarios, how it's used, different techniques of gang stalking. So, like I said, I would open with, though, just to let people know how serious it really is, in a place where an individual is not outnumbered and people really do something about this stuff. It is very serious, and just a word out to the gang stalkers. Um, the you know, some refer to them as terrorists, uh, but I just wanted to throw out there as an opening to one of the ending pages on the booklet. But I'm going to open with this to let you know, though there are many criminals within the organized stalking network, actually they are all criminals in violation of U.S. federal and state laws. Not all who participate are aware that they are committing crimes. Some may not even know the true purpose of the stalking and harassment, especially if they're paid to do it. They're just like, sure, it's some money, we'll do this. They don't even realize uh, somebody could be on their last nerve, their last thread of nerve, ready to kill themselves, or just about on the brink of having a stroke or a heart attack, and they decide to join in at the last minute. You know what? You helped kill somebody, man. You helped kill somebody. Yeah, I'm just saying. People were like, man, that's not likely to happen. Well, what if it did happen? And you were just one of those last minute recruiters, and you didn't realize how much hell that person had already been put through, to the point where they're on the brink of having a stroke or a heart attack, and you help with one little scene and that finishes them off. You gotta think about stuff like that. Think ahead of time, man. Not everybody is strong enough to handle. Um, you got some fighters, man. People, there's people that's had it worse than me. I got a friend on Facebook that complains, like, she's put up with the electronic weapons. It makes people nauseous, and some people, to the point it will make them throw up. It makes them physically sick, and it has made her sick before, to where she threw up physically from the electronic harassment, the electromagnetic torture, using uh, frequency devices or whatever. It's as simple as that. But they hand them out if they want somebody out of the way bad enough. Um, Recruiters of organized stalking are believed to use lies to recruit uninvolved people, such as that the targeted individual has committed some heinous act and should be placed under persistent surveillance. A notable case where this occurred is U.S. versus. This must be some type of case that was fought over this. That that makes me wonder. When it comes to a level of parents, yes, your family can become involved in this, and I believe that to an extent. I have my own experience. Yeah, my family shows signs of gang stalking, pushing my buttons and acting like they did not even do a thing to me. I can't imagine what manipulation was put into someone's mind, your own parent, to play mind games with you, wear you out, keep gaslighting you. And the sick thing is, you're like, man, how do they know to do these techniques? They had to be trained to do this. That's the sick part about it. Your own people, when they turn against you and become a part of the gang, it's like, we can't beat these people to the authorities. Might as well join them. No, if you stick together as a family, you probably get something done about it. It's not like they're going to call the whole family crazy. They're going to be like, well, something's really going on if they're sticking with their kids back here and they see what's going on. No, they could warn even for you, be there with you to turn it in or something. Chances are the gang stalkers, they're going to do something to get you arrested anyways. They don't care about your life. They don't care about your record. That's what they want to do. They want to destroy your life and, get you in a what's the word for it? A crippled place. You know what I mean? Uh, you know, it's it's like gang or something. Like, might not be gang members. They treat it like it's a gang get together or something, just having a big old fun jump in or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see the perspective I'm coming from right there. Like, seriously, man, it's just um, okay. So I read. Okay, yeah, keep in mind it's a federal and state crime, okay? On a federal level. It really is that serious because it's just like uh, uh, brainstorming up a conspiracy. You're going in on somebody, you're making plans to harass them, you're making plans to get them out of an area, you're making plans to troll them or whatever. You're making it's a conspiracy get together, is what it is. A conspiracy of a hate crime. That's what it is. Okay. Um, so I want to jump back over to this other packet that I started on. And don't be afraid of the word packet. This has like 6 pages, but I'm skimming through certain things, guys. So bear with me here. Please stay with me because this stuff is so important. And if you don't want to listen to it, then someone that's going through it, get them to listen to it, or someone that you know is involved with it, get them to listen to how cruel on certain levels it can get. Let them think the other way around, what it's doing to the person that they're affecting. You know what I mean? But so uh, this is talking about. Okay, this was an analysis of 10 online accounts of mind control experiences consistent with gang stalking, though they didn't mention that word explicitly. When assessed by 3 independent psychiatrists, all of the accounts were classified as consistent with the evidence of a psychotic disorder. Yeah, that's the go-to. Um, this analysis, there's analysis of 128 responses to a survey about stalking that similarly concluded that 100% of cases involving gang stalking by multiple coordinated individuals reflected paranoid delusions. In contrast, only 4% of those reporting stalking by a single individual were deemed to be delusional. In both of these studies, gang stalking claims were attributed to paranoia because they defied credulity, often due to the sheer the sheer amount of resources or level of coordinated organization that would be necessary to carry out what was claimed. As a psychiatrist, it's nearly impossible to disagree with those conclusions. Delusions are defined in psychiatry as fixed false beliefs, with paranoia representing a class version in which one believes they're being followed, harassed, or otherwise persecuted. Vigilance, keeping an eye out for and being generally wary of potential threats, is normal and can transform into exaggerated hypervigilance under various conditions, such as having been an actual victim of violence. At the extreme, full blown paranoia of delusional intensity can be understood as that same evolutionary warning system gone completely awry, to the point of seeing the evidence and believing that such threats are almost everywhere. I don't know, that was kind of pointless. Okay, let's see. Let's see here, guys. Trying to just go over highlights. And despite stigmatizing stereotypes about psychotic disorders like schizophrenia, those whose paranoia is part of delusional disorder, where non-bizarre or plausible delusions are the only symptoms, don't typically appear bizarre or odd, and have functioning that relatively intact according to traditional diagnostic criteria in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, for an excellent portrayal of what it's like to be married to someone with delusional disorder. Listen to this episode of This American Life called You Can't Handle the Truth. This helps to explain why, aside from their okay, this says this helps to explain why, aside from their idiosyncratic beliefs, many targeted individuals don't appear obviously psychotic. There is no such thing. But digging deeper tells a different story. Okay, here's a good point. But other common symptoms of mental illness, such as auditory hallucinations or voice hearing, and even less plausible beliefs, such as having implants. Okay, that's where I've heard of this stuff, guys, but I'm not with that. I don't know something to this extent. Getting into talking about implants, it's like, well, you obviously had to be there at a time to give them consent to put you to sleep, to give you an implant that would make you hear things inside your head. But really, all you have to have is the electronic weapons, the V2K. That's where the voice hearing comes from. It's like artificial schizophrenia or something. It's like trick schizophrenia. It affects just like schizophrenia, but it's caused by electronic weapons. It's a method of torture to use. it goes through your brain waves, through radiation, your brain waves, microwaves. Just look it up. Link what I'm saying together, and it will make sense. It sounds impossible. It's like, well, how can you, uh, signal a certain frequency to direct it right at someone's ear without having it up beside of that person's ear, through their brain waves, through their ears. It sounds like it's right up next to you in the air, but it's sound waves, brain waves. They match with your brain waves, certain frequency level. You just have to look into it. I can't sit here and explain. I mean, you get the gist of it, though. If not, just research it. You'll see what I'm talking about. It'll come up. But even those with pure paranoia appear to display textbook examples of delusional thinking. Okay, let's fast forward down here. Why would the CIA be devoting considerable resources to keep an average Joe under constant surveillance for years on end? Note that paranoia and grandiosity and exaggerated sense of self-importance often go hand in hand. Third, the persecutory experiences continue regardless of attempts to escape or relocate where they live at or where they're at that moment, including when hospitalized in the inpatient psychiatric ward and are contradicted by acquaintances or family and friends living in close proximity, and so by process of elimination as well as recognition as a textbook case. Paranoid delusions often offer the best explanation for most gang-stalking claims. In other words, most gang-stalking claims, that's just the best thing to go ahead and book it as. Going crazy. Have some type of definition of a mental illness to explain this one, the way they're acting. Because that's one of the first things they ask when they mentally evaluate you. Is there anybody here you think that's going to hurt you? It's like, oh my gosh, man, that's so like past a decade ago. There's gang stalking now. Yeah, it could be. If I'm a targeted individual, there could be somebody here involved with it. And you start talking like that, they're already ready to put you on the crazy floor, put you in the straitjacket, whatever. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It shouldn't be like that. But it's such a huge problem and so lenient being dealt with. It looks like authorities would make some type of serious law about cracking down on it by now and pointing it out, but I don't know if they just don't want to go through the time of breaking down the signs and connecting the dots. I don't know, but surely there's professionals around by now that can point out gang stalking when it's in play. Surely, that's why I'm doing this, trying to make a difference, guys. Trying to be heard, trying to speak for other brothers and sisters that's being targeted, being mentally beat down from a distance, even physically beat down from a distance, slowly dying from a distance, depending on the level of it. But okay. Paranoia often resolves when its underlying causes are actually treated, whether by participating in psychotherapy that challenges cognitive distortions in the face of evidence, taking medications for psychotic disorders like schizophrenia, or stopping the use of illicit drugs well known to cause paranoia like methamphetamines, cocaine, and sometimes marijuana or alcohol. Many benefit from a combination of these interventions. I don't know where that was going with that, guys, but all of that, what I just said, they can use that as excuses just to shut you up sometimes, and that's what really makes me mad. They go by a report and not by how you act in front of them anymore, which is backwards. That's how it's supposed to be. Excuse me. That's how it's supposed to be. Um, Go by what they observe, how you act while you're in front of them, and not by the report that is based on why you're there to be observed. You might as well not observe you. You might as well just go ahead and put you to the side, put a label on you, and be like, man, you leave when we think you're well. Whatever we think's wrong with you. Like, what's the point, man? It's all about looking good and getting some money at the end of the day for those type of doctors. That's what it's about. Just there for the money. They don't care. Hey, some of them are even in on it. They might get paid a little bit. It's like this one, this is one of them. You're going to have to play the play, do the part, do your role, do that usual thing that you do. Just long enough. Just long enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, that stuff really does go on, y'all. For real. If your own family can be involved in it, why can't a doctor be involved in it? Alright, once treated people sometimes develop insight that the experience wasn't real after all, trip themselves up, doubting themselves, and is best explained by paranoia. But just as often, a delusional belief may not be fully relinquished as an explanation for past events, so much as someone is simply relieved and thankful that for whatever reason the persecution has stopped. They're just glad it stopped, man. It's like, you know what I mean? Which, in some cases, if mine actually stopped, then I would still be witnessing to other people about just not on the level that I am, but I would, of course, I wouldn't complain about it near as I wouldn't even complain about it anymore. I'd just be glad that it stopped, but it never did. It's not like a full blown 24/7, but it comes and goes. It's not as bad as it used to be. But it comes and goes, and I'm sure somebody hears that. It's like, well, we can crank it up if you want us to. But I'm just saying, I'm just trying to give you examples and let you know. I'm sure there's way worse cases. People have had it worse off than I have. It's, they think it's funny, but it's really not. It's really not. I got so used to it, like, I just try to laugh it off because I don't have no other choice. But sometimes you just want to take a chair and throw it through the wall or something, like, seriously. But that's what they want you to do, so you got to contain it, or you get the cops called after you, get ECO, TDO. Finally snapped, man. I knew there was something in him, off balance. That's all it takes. It's what they want, man. It's messed up, but that really is how it goes. Generally, that's how it goes. Unless you have people in the area that know how to handle it and they can do something about it, or reach out to higher authorities if they don't have the expertise in it. You know what I mean? But anyways, so beliefs, whether those of targeted individuals or psychiatrists, are ultimately probability judgments where the distinction between a delusion and a normal belief is the difference between what could be true and what's likely to be true, and the associated level of conviction for that judgment. By definition, people with delusions hold beliefs with unwarranted levels of conviction, with the main evidence for the belief lying almost exclusively within the subjective experience. They often reason that I can't be crazy because it seems so real. If they didn't, they wouldn't be delusional, in other words. If you believe you're paranoid, you're not. Okay, get this. Says 96%. This is the ones that I want to bold the most. There's certain parts that sound like it's a lost cause, like it's hopelessness. But in some areas, is actually on the other side. You know, we go to the left, and ain't no use in trying. Might as well just accept this is going to be the rest of my life. And when they die off, they're going to get somebody else to come gang stalk me. Right here, this says, in a study, 96% of individual stalking claims were judged to be real. That's almost 100% of them. 96% was judged to be real. Making probabilistic judgments based on objective evidence, actually seeing into it, that you get something done about, actually looking into it. As serious as this stuff is these days, the most twisted-minded and clever way to slowly kill somebody, but yet they just act like it's too much of a lost cause, bud. Sorry, I mean, ain't no use to look into that. We ain't got no proof. But then, crazy thing is, when you bring some proof that looks like something is going on, then they're like, we might as well just turn our face to this one. Act like something's not going on because this looks like a little too sketchy for us. Yeah, right, man, are you serious? Like, that's what your job is, man, to look into something that's really bothering somebody in their life. I'm not talking about just somebody sitting there like picking their nails and irritating you, or in your ear. That's not like, it's not like a crime. You know what I mean? That's not something to go to the police about. But when there's clear evidence that somebody has been around, like left their stuff or something just to mess with your mind, yes, yeah, you're not a police officer, man. Somebody's really being harassed that bad, and it's really affecting their life, their thoughts, their energy, their physical body, and you just act like they're crazy, but you know that there's something wrong, something's going on. That's not a real cop. That's just popo. That's just a badge. That's not a police officer to me. By most accounts, gang stalking doesn't hold up to such objective analysis for anyone other than those experiencing it. It's hard to prove, but you're the right one, the right resource to help you. It could turn tables around real quick. That's the confounding reality of delusions. They're ultimately grounded in subjective experience, whereas the truth is objective. Okay. Trying to narrow this down even more, guys. Actually, I think that's just giving sources that you can go to. Alright. to take, let's see, we're at 30 minutes. I want to take a quick in-between break here. I should have, I'm going to edit this and put also gaslighting with this, as I'm going to do this in between, because gaslighting plays a huge factor in gang stalking, especially the gang stalker. If they're confronted or you're trying to ask them, pleading like, why are you doing this to me or whatever, they're going to play every card in the book to act like they don't know what you're talking about. And if you bug them bad enough, they're going to try and hand you off to somebody else to get you out of their hair. Try to make you look crazy eventually. They're going to get desperate to make you shut up. Seriously. This is what it feels like. Okay? You see that image, right? It's like, man, should I come out of my cage today? Like, I know I can go out there and do things, but it's like, maybe I just want to be isolated. I don't know if I want to even go out and deal with it. That's what that says. Gaslighting is a type of manipulation that causes a person to doubt their own beliefs, sanity, or memory. Gaslighters undermine the trust a person has in their reality. They create a world in which the victim's point of view is untrustworthy, dysfunctional, or wrong. Rather than a single event, gaslighting tends to occur over weeks or years. The gaslighter steadily chips away at the victim's self-confidence and well-being. Over time, the victim's self-doubt can lead them to feel confused, scared, and unhappy. Gaslighting can occur in romantic relationships, friendships, families, and in the workplace. Sorry guys, thought about something. I zoned out for a second. I wasn't laughing at this by no means. I take this very seriously. Gaslighting is often used as a method of control over another person. When someone begins to doubt their own memory or sanity, they may come to depend on the gaslighter to make sense of things. In this way, the gaslighter is elevated to a position of power or authority. It sounds so simple, but you want to hear how close that sounds to what's that called? Stockholm syndrome. Doesn't that sound like Stockholm syndrome? But they make it sound so simple these days, like it's nothing. But seriously, that's how a person with Stockholm syndrome reels somebody in. Like, I mean, it sounds creepy, but that's the way they go about it. Additionally, gaslighting invalidates the victim's point of view. The victim is made out to be wrong or not to be trusted, so that the gaslighter always has the upper hand in the relationship. The gaslighter becomes the only one in the relationship who can be trusted. How does gaslighting work? The gaslighter convinces the victim they are wrong, misremembering, or are mentally unwell. They might say things such as, "That never happened," or "You're crazy." Initially, the victim may not be convinced. However, the gaslighter is persistent, and over time, the victim comes to believe the gaslighter's point of view. Okay, let's see here. Here's common tactics used by the gaslighter and examples. Okay, so the gaslight denial. The gaslighter tells the victim an event or conversation didn't happen, or didn't happen the way the victim remembers it. Like, "I never said that. That's not how it happened at all." By distraction, the gaslighter interrupts the victim or tries to change the subject. Let's talk about your birthday. Hey, can we get something to eat? All right, this is just corny examples. Um, okay, ignoring or avoidance. The gaslighter refuses to engage in conversation with the victim or address their concerns. Turning up the volume on the TV, leaving the house, and not returning for hours. Okay, minimization or trivialization. The gaslighter makes light of a serious situation or accusation. Whatever, it was nothing. It's not a big deal anyway. Okay, projection. The gaslighter accuses the victim of the very behavior in which they are engaging. Maybe you're the one who's hiding something. Well, I think you're lying to me. When really they're the ones that's lying to you about the whole situation. Okay, so put downs. The gaslighter insults and degrades the victim, so they come to doubt themselves. Like, you're an idiot. You have no clue what you're saying. You sound really crazy when you talk like that. Okay, sabotage. This is the biggest one I've been through, the sabotage one. The gaslighter undermines the victim in order to make them seem incompetent. Like trying to make you out like you're crazy, make you believe you're crazy. Manipulating you into trying to make you believe you're crazy. Like you're just imagining something that's really happening. Still yet, lie to your face, knowing they're lying to your face. Okay, throwing away the victim's mail so they can't pay a bill on time. I've had something similar like that happen to me. Damaging the victim's car so they cannot leave the house. I don't know about leaving the house part, but yeah, I did get my car damaged by gang stalkers. Yeah, I did. Threats. The gaslighter threatens a negative outcome for not trusting them or their perspective. They get mad when you don't just go along with it. It's like, dude, you might as well just walk off. Save some energy, just walk off. So they're not going to give in. They're not going to crack with you. They want you to give in and just shut up. When it comes to give and take, just let the rope go. Let them fall backwards from trying to tug so hard. You know what I mean? Just let the rope go. Because if they're getting at that point, it ain't no use. Threats. The gaslighter threatens a negative outcome for not trusting them or their perspective. If you can't see things my way, this relationship is over. You'll get the kids taken away if you keep saying that. Like, it's like threatening without being accused of making a threat if you don't listen to them. It's okay. The experience of a gaslighting victim. Victims of gaslighting may question their beliefs, have trouble making decisions, have trouble explaining their situation, feel they are going crazy, feel confused, scared, or unhappy, feel dependent on the gaslighter, doubt their memory, have low self-esteem, feel their emotions are not valid. Victims might think or say, I'm not sure what I think anymore. I can't tell what's real anymore. I guess I must have gotten it wrong. Or I don't even know what's going on. Okay. How to defend against gaslighting is just 5 little tips that might help. Keep a journal to record your reality. Document events and conversations from your own perspective while they are still fresh in your mind. Review the situations in which you were gaslit. Recall events from your own perspective. not the gaslighter's perspective. Trust yourself again and again. Your memories, thoughts, and beliefs are valid. Learn to overcome doubt and trust yourself once again. Talk to people you trust. Share your situation with others who understand and support you. In your relationship with the gaslighter, healthy relationships involve honesty and safety. If you feel unsafe in your relationship, separate yourself from the gaslighter. Okay, I know this might seem kind of corny, guys, but seriously, some people really do. It's like a broken record, and they get so used to it that they really do break into this crap, this manipulative crap. But anyways, yeah, way over 30 minutes, guys. I gotta start getting better about cutting this short. But again, second part of gang stalking slash gaslighting, guys. You heard examples. You heard the techniques, the ways they go about it, how they act towards the victim, how it makes the victim react towards life in general. You want to cut straight to the summary point. But yeah, that's how it can affect people, guys. Hop off here. I don't know about finishing up the whole rest of it, but I'll do as much as I can, and then if I don't do the rest tonight as soon as possible, I'll try and finish it up for you guys. I'm doing it for the people. I'm doing it for the targeted individuals, guys. I'm not doing this just for show of interest. People that might be interested in seeing how something like this blows over, what it is, like what is gang stalking. I mean, I want people to be interested so they can help a fellow person out if they see they're starting to go through it, or help them rise up against their perpetrators. Um, you know what I mean? But my heart goes out to these people. I'm gonna end it with that again, and I'll say it again and again and again because it really is a serious problem, man. These days and times, and in society, in certain places, depending on where you're located at. All right, guys. God bless all. Please, please, please. If you would subscribe, but most importantly, please share, spread this, guys. Please, God bless you greatly because it's for a great cause. Wish you guys much peace, love, and many prayers in Jesus' name. God bless you all. Love y'all.